Right, wow. I need a shave, definitely. This is what happens when you take some days off work and you don't need to shave. Well, right, the first thing I want to say, guys, is I'm recording this bit actually at the end, but I'm going to put this at the start. It's going to be a long video. As you will see if you watch the video without skipping anything. I mentioned throughout the video I was about to scrap about an hour of footage, maybe less than that, but I was to scrap everything and start all over again. But then I thought I would have to go through a lot of editing. I don't like editing, as you guys know, and I decided to leave the whole thing. It's going to be well over an hour, but we got a fix, and I never worked on one of these systems before, so it was a learning curve for me as well, try to understand how everything works, what could be the issues, and making the right calls, as you see throughout the video. I went ahead and beyond what I usually do to get this one fixed, but we got there in the end, and I think there's some good information on this video. So please just be mindful that it is a long video. And unless you are prepared to watch the whole thing, you might gonna miss some bits if you start to skip. But yeah, so just a quick warning here, 1 minute and 23 seconds already. So guys, let's gonna crack on with this, and yeah, that was it. Hi everybody, all my followers, be welcome to another video. The video today is on a 2011 Fiat Punto Evo, and I think it's a petrol. Well, it is a petrol because I heard the engine running. Is definitely a petrol, and the car has one of these sequential auto and manual gearboxes. This is very similar or same system as the Ford uses, the Dualshift. So it's basically a manual gearbox with a normal clutch that is actuated electro-hydraulic with electric motors and hydraulics. I haven't even opened the bonnet, but that's the sort of gearbox this has, and this is where the problem is. I'm going to show you. I've seen the car doing it when I moved the car from the other side of the road to here. So we're going to start the engine and I'm going to try to show you what the problem is. So let's start this. I can hear the pump running for the hydraulic fluid. Okay. Now let me see if I can show you exactly what it does. So I'm gonna engage first gear. How do you do automatic? So engage reverse. Engage reverse okay now, but before was really grinding on the gearbox to engage reverse. That's first gear. Okay, let me go forward a little bit. Damn it. It's engaging okay now. Okay, so now it's kind of engaging okay the gears really. When engages the gear, though, I can feel, how to put it across, if the clutch is not fully engaged. So when I do this, when I engage, for example, reverse, I can feel the car sort of try to move, like if the clutch is not fully depressed. And even when I do forward, same thing. But definitely, I should have recorded when I moved into this side, just in case if I'm doing now, which is not doing it. It was really grinding, the special reverse was grinding like hell. Now, the garage that brought me this car said they checked the clutch. Don't know if they changed it, whatever, but they said the clutch was fine and it just needs adaptation. Now, if that is true or not, that's what we're going to check. So let's gonna so why sometimes it comes into neutral is like that. Okay, now I got you. What's this neutral and automatic? Okay. Okay, whatever. Let's gonna scan the car. They said there's some codes on the ECU as well for the learning. I'm not sure. Let's gonna scan the car and see what we have. But definitely, guys, I know he looks like he's normal now, but he was grinding the gears like crazy, absolutely like crazy. Now the only thing I feel is like if the engine is, it's like if the clutch is biting all the time, and when you engage gears, it kind of, don't know if that's normal on this car either. So anyway, let's go scan the car and go from there. Okay, let's go. So European. Actually, let me try the. See if it detects the car. Nope. It's gonna go Fiat. Where is the Fiat? Damn it, it was right there. Will he read my VIN number? Yes, he does. Okay, let's gonna go into. Let it load first. Okay. Will these have a separate unit? Yes, it does. Well, it looks like it does. Yes, it does. Okay, so there is a stored code. Generic resist a signal above allowable range. So yes, it could have mean some sort of adaptation needed. The code is stored though. So let's gonna clear this. Okay, no codes detected. It's gonna come back. Now let's gonna start the car again. Have you heard that? Okay, let me see if you can hear this. Okay, seen that? Now engaged. Now he's engaging, but really harsh. Okay, so hopefully you have heard that. Was engaging now, gears really harsh. Yeah, it's even harsher than before, but you heard the gearbox grinding as if the clutch is not completely depressed. So let's gonna go to the, glad he did it now, so you don't think I was just coming up with this. So let's gonna go here again, see if there's those. So there is no code still. Actually, let me cycle this ignition to make sure any faults are properly locked in. Let me turn the ignition on again. Start the car actually. Well done, he's in gear. And now it's not even coming out of gear. Okay, so now let me show you this. So now the car is not coming out of gear. Nope. Okay, so now it's even worse than it was before. Oh, damn it. Oh, crap. Okay. Yeah, there is a transmission fault. There is a flashing light for the transmission. So now it's even worse. Oh, dear. Let me turn this HVAC system off. What we have now? Active, signal above. Okay, so this is most like, okay, so we just got the same code coming back. So now we are in the right page. So this is only one code coming up, which is good, which means the grinding noise that we heard and the complaint they were saying that it was harsh to engage gears and all this stuff. And now the problem we are seeing now, which is not even engaging gears, is all from the same code. So the code was not active at the time, but now it came back exactly the same, B060C85. So let's gonna go to live data, see what we have around here, if there's anything that so engine speed, gear level, position, bit not requested. So we have all these positions for in millimeters by the look of it. Reference clutch position, accelerate, hydraulic pressure sensor 46 bars. I would guess it's going to be alright. Gear engage is first, which gear request, that's the thing, you see. Okay, so I'm requesting neutral right now. Hold on. Press the pedal. Okay, so this is going to be something different here because I'm requesting something else. But in here, it's still saying the same. So, okay. Current electro valve, gears, clutch, current, clutch position, self-tuning. Let me see if I can have counter off engaged and forget about these counters, doesn't really matter. Gear, error counter, 255, and secure. Threshold with electro valve, okay, 5th gear, 6 reverse. For drift values, miss opening, clutch errors. So we have here what we have. So this is what we have is for the clutch. The problem is for the clutch. I want to see if there is something. Clutch solenoids. So what I wanted to see is, because I'm requesting a different gear here. The gears are not changing, but on the actually here on where it says gear selected and gear, let's right at the top. So there we go. So gear, sorry about that, guys. I was looking at the screen there. So gear engaged and requested gear. When I change here, it doesn't change there. So unless this is in a different place for my live data. No, there's only one live data, so that's it. Yeah, there's only one live data. Okay. Let me go. Let me check these menus, see what we have here. Gear, brake, hot gear, clutch. Okay, I don't want to do this just yet. Okay, so we have all these. Okay, let's gonna go system test. Self-learning. Okay, I think that's the first thing I'm gonna do. But before that, we're gonna open the bonnet. I want to do a visual inspection. That's the first thing, even before we start the mess. See if everything is correctly plugged in, if we can see any leaks maybe. I don't know, guys. Let's gonna go through there first and see what we have. Okay, and looking into this, analyzing everything, checking everything. Everything is plugged in, and this system is actually all hydraulic. So I mentioned this was similar to the Duro Torque from Ford. It's actually a completely different system. Everything is hydraulic by the looks of it. There is a hydraulic. There is a motor that builds hydraulic pressure, and then everything. There's solenoids, hydraulic solenoids, including the clutch, that obviously actuates stuff. Just similar to my SMG gearbox. Haha. Okay, obviously just similar. But the principle is actually the same. So everything looks like it's plugged in. I can't see nothing out of the ordinary. Everything looks okay to me. So let's gonna go to the scanner again and see what we can do in there. Okay, and just came back here, and looks like my gearbox warning just gone now. Let me see if engage. Oh, you heard that? So it is engaging again. So there is something moving there. So I think we're going to try to do that system learning, whatever, and see what happens. Okay, so I'm not sure if this should be the first one, but I'm going to do this. Okay, so the command re-zeros parameters related to the self-learning functions in the control unit, the presence of okay, that's fine. Don't think it's these actually. I'd be wrong. Okay, the motor just came on. Use the command has been once the command has been sent, turn the key to stop and wait to the end of the power latch. So turn key off. Take it off, and now I'm gonna wait for the power to everything to go off. I'm not sure if I'm gonna hear any noises, but we'll leave a few minutes and that should do. Okay, a couple minutes, that should be enough. Let's gonna press OK before we turn the key on. Okay, I've done that already. I think this was not what I should be doing. I think this is something different, but I guess we can't do any harm, I think. Key on. Let me. Oh, the wheel. Key on. Okay. Press OK to exit. Okay, so that's done. Okay. Okay. Kicking in the pressure, the hydraulic unit. So the code is back to stored. So I'm gonna clear these again. What have I done? So I finally managed to clear the codes. Let's go back inside of it into the ECU. Let's go to special functions, control unit, so we haven't. Okay, so my problem looks like is the clutch, so as you've seen. So let's gonna do a clutch replacement. That, unless there's other function at the beginning for that. No, there is. No, there isn't. So let's gonna try a clutch. Relearn, I guess. Let's pretend we changed the clutch. Okay, maybe carry that, and let's take out this complete clutch. Self-calibration, that's what. End of line, self-calibration, self-service coupling. So we did, so okay, let me see how we're gonna do this, because the clutch has been most likely played because it is kind of working. So let's gonna try this one. That's an F3. To store thresholds after the current one, this must be from whatever potential. Blah blah blah. Okay. The procedure shall be allowed only if the following conditions are fulfilled. Key on. Okay. 42 bars. Between 12 and 13. Okay, is okay. Okay, so we don't have pressure. Okay, let me start. Okay. Let them to carry on now. So I think the pressure was not there. So starting the engine forced the hydraulic pump to run and to build the pressure. Okay, 5 seconds to go, at least this part. Insufficient clutch stroke. Insufficient clutch stroke. Insufficient clutch stroke. Insufficient clutch stroke. Okay, so the adaptation failed basically. Okay, let's gonna start the engine. Let's gonna try this one now. Okay, I can definitely feel what looks like the clutch being engaged and disengaged. Obviously the car is in neutral, but I can feel something going on. I can hear the engine tone changing and stuff, so definitely something's going on. Let's see what the scanner retrieves back. Okay, failed. Look at that. Clutch self-calibration enable failed. Okay. Once turn the key, the power latch. So, it's failing to calibrate the clutch, and as you've seen on the first one we tried, he actually came up with an error. Let's see if it comes up on this one. Insufficient clutch stroke. That to me means the clutch is not achieving a certain default position or a certain amount of traveling. Key on. That's what it looks like. Okay. Okay, back to this screen. Okay, so this is failing. Let's start the engine again. Try to engage. Ooh. Okay, so we're gonna have to figure out what's going on with this. And that insufficient clutch stroke, that is a kind of a clue to me. Let's see how this system actually engages the clutch. What presses the clutch? Maybe something's wrong in there and it's not actually moving properly. I don't know. We're gonna have to dig into this a little bit. Okay, and last time I worked on this was few days ago, like probably about a week maybe. I don't have a lot of space on the phone right now because I need to edit and obviously remove from the phone the video for this van. But I think I have enough to just take you through a little bit of what's going on, and yeah. So what I've done so far is I've removed the clutch travel sensor, which is this sensor here. Well, the sensor is here, and the mechanism to activate the sensor is here. So it's this little lever that goes on that pin in there, which I will show you in a minute. And then as the clutch travels forward, back and forwards, it moves this lever, which moves this thing at the top with this key, and which obviously moves the sensor. Ah, damn it. Now obviously that goes on that pin, but look, right now everything is in the rest position. Look where the pin is. It's nearly at the end. So if I'm correct, this pin, the position of this should be, oh, I can't pull it with one hand, but let me see if I can just show you that. It should be, oh crap, it should be back here somewhere. Not there, because it's nearly at the end of travel. So why is it the end of travel? I don't know. The rest position should be here somewhere at the back. So why is there? I don't know. I don't know why is there. But to me, something is not right. But I have a plan to prove my theory. So just hold on tight. And if my theory is right, I think I know what's wrong. Now, all the search, just before we move on, all the search I've done online was reporting to replace the ECUs, replace all these assembly, which obviously if you replace it with a good assembly, it's going to work. But I think I know what the problem is, and I think I know how we're going to get it sorted. So I'm just thinking a little bit out of the box. But I'm going to do something just to try to prove my theory, and then if it works, I will explain you what I've done, etc, etc. Okay, back inside the car. I went back to the clips I recorded to see what I was having, especially on live data, and I'll show you in a minute why. Now, the numbers on that live data, to me, they mean nothing. I mean, I don't know what the numbers should be in there. And in relation to what into what we are looking at here, which is the clutch side of things. On the clips I recorded, I've seen that the position was a 17 mil. Now, I've done something there that when we're going to look on our live data, the position should be different, okay? So everything's kind of back in place, just so everything's plugged in, only 2 screws on that sensor assembly, just so I could, we can try this. But yeah, I've done something there that if my theory is correct, I don't know if it's going to stay in place, I hope it does, but if my theory is correct, the problem is fixed. I mean temporarily. So, but we're going to look at some live data to start with. So let me go into history. I've done this car, obviously it's going to, oh, there it is. Oh, it's here. So we're going to scan the car, and we're going to go look at our live data again, and hopefully my clutch position is no longer at 17 mil as it was before, and it's going to be, I'm not sure it's going to be less or more, I don't know which way it works, but we're going to have a look. I can't find a lot of stuff for this car and for this gearbox as well. It's a little bit, can't find a lot of information. So control unit, let's gonna go there. First of all, let's gonna look at the codes. Okay, and I got interrupted, don't even know exactly what I was, but I think I was saying that last time, I think I left these with codes. Let's see if we have any codes. So we have no codes, which is good. I don't know if I cleared the codes last time. So let's gonna look at our live data, and that's what I'm interested on. Battery is getting a little bit low. Am I gonna have to start this? Okay, so look at that. My clutch position now at rest is at 21 millimeters. Okay, which is good. Clutch position self-tuning 21 millimeters. Keys point. So we might gonna have to now. If I'm correct, when I'm gonna try to learn the clutch this time, it's gonna work. Okay, and the gears should no longer grind. So let's gonna start the car. I'm not sure if the way I've done it is gonna last, but let's try it. So let's gonna start the engine. And the clutch moved now to 13. Don't know how it should be. Let me see if I try to engage. Is in neutral at the moment. Okay. Now let me see if I go reverse. Still nope. Okay, still no good. It's still grinding, so let's try put this in neutral. Now let's gonna try to learn this clutch. Request from lever. Okay, let's try to learn this clutch now. So I think we did it on there last time. It was I think it was. Of a complete, I can't remember where I've done it last time. Functions. No, gearbox, no. Levers at the wheel. System selection or engagement clutch. Which one we did last time? Now let's gonna do the clutch. I think was the clutch I did. Hold on, or was that back on service? I don't think it was there. So sorry guys, I should. You have anything here? No, we don't. I'm sure it was the clutch that we did last time. So let's pretend we replace the clutch, and that should learn. There we go. Clutch bleed, end of line service, clutch self calibration enable. It was that one, wasn't it? Kiss point, blah 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 blah. There must be neutral, no gear shifts. Okay. Start the engine and continue. The engine is running. While he does this, we're gonna watch it. Okay, and that procedure has failed. I think what I've done in there didn't quite work. I have a feeling. Let me look at the live data, see if he moved from the 21 as he was before. I think it didn't work. I think he's moving. It's on 11 now. Let me. It's already moving. So rest position now is at 18. It was at 21 earlier, wasn't it? So I'm gonna have to rethink that before I move on. And look at that. So I think on the last screen I was showing doing the wrong test, so I found where I was before, which was the end of life self-calibration or whatever, where it came up with a fault for not enough stroke or insufficient stroke, clutch stroke. Now it performed it successfully. Okay, I had to redo what I was doing there because it was definitely not working. There's a lot of pressure on there, and but some of you are probably wondering, okay, show us what you've done. I will show you in a second. Obviously I can't leave it like that. It's not going to work like that. We're going to have to go a little bit further, but yeah, so let me show you now. Let me start the engine. So as you can see, that position is slightly different now, 3mm difference. Let's gonna start the engine. Okay, that gone down to about 13, 14. If you remember before, it was about 11. So let's gonna engage reverse. Still grinding. Hold on, maybe now. See if I need to do the bite point. Just be neutral. Now is in neutral. I have to finish this procedure now. Okay, so I don't even know where I've stopped last. So now, just because I will take you through everything, but I think there is another issue with this car other than what I'm working on. So I just removed the bit I've done where you've seen that the procedure was successfully, and now we're going to do it again, and we're going to see what happens, because I have the feeling that it's going to fail now. So let me come back. It's going to go there again. Okay, so F3. Okay, let me disable the start and stop. Okay, now let him doing his thing and see how he ends. Now, while he does it, let me take you through a little bit of stuff. So while I've been doing what I've been doing, which I'll show you in a minute, I'll explain you everything at the front of the engine. While I had my modification in place, obviously that procedure we are just doing now was carried out successfully, as you've seen. I still have harsh gears engagement, etc. But I had no codes on ECU whatsoever. Okay, throughout the whole time I've been here, engaging, disengaging, starting, stopping the car, etc. Not even once I had any codes on ECU. Okay, so that was absolutely fine, and that's the reason why I think I have another issue with this car. Maybe the car has been driven like this for too long and damaged some stuff. I don't know, or it might be that there is other issues. But yeah, bingo! Look at that, straight away. Wrong gear, self-learning, end of line insufficient, clutch stroke. So I'm going to explain to you why we are getting this code, why we are getting this insufficient clutch stroke, and what I've done to make that to not happen. Okay, and it is what prevented that fault from come up. So I put these between the clutch lever and the piston that comes from inside that assembly, that hydraulic assembly. So by putting these in there, when the clutch is completely depressed, he's going to push that piston, that arm, whatever you want to, that shaft, whatever you want to call it, it's going to pull it further back, and that's just going to pull it further back to a range where the machine doesn't fault during this procedure, the self-adaptation, whatever. That's what prevented that from happening. That also should, because I believe that shaft is worn, that should also, when the clutch is depressed, because this essentially is going to make that shaft a little bit longer, it should push the clutch further back to completely disengage the clutch. So I've been here with this in place, and I had no faults coming back on the ECU. Even though I had this, we're gonna have to do all these now. Even though I had all these harsh gears engagement, the grinding and stuff, it only grinds when put in reverse anyway. Engaging forward gears, he never does it. It's only on reverse, and that's why I think there is an issue elsewhere. But let me just see if we have any codes now, because I never had any codes from the beginning since I've done that. See if that throw a code now, and there is my code. Oh no, hold on. No, this is a different code now. Okay guys, and like a week later, I've just finished the caddy. You might or might have not seen the video for it. Anyway, a week later, and after a lot of, or a little bit of researching, I was about to scrap all the footage I have done up to now and start all over again. But at the same time, I thought, why? Let people see the struggles I go through. Anyway, so when I start the video, guys, right at the beginning, all those values for the clutch, for the gears, all those millimeters, all that to me was not Chinese, was in millimeters, but to me, I didn't know what values I should expect in there. And I've been battling with these. Anyway, the last bit you've seen was obviously, I think, when I put this in and I managed to actually get the clutch, the plunge or the clutch actuating rod to move a little bit further. I now know all the positions, all the numbers that we should have. The clutch at the rest position should be at 21 millimeters. As you've seen at the start of the video, that was on 17. So that's a good indication that my rod, that rod that comes out to push the lever to open the clutch, that's worn out. There's no questions about that. Another thing that then, as I have been here, so I've checked all the clutch, so that's out, that's it. The gear selector, that's a little bit worn as well. There's something there, but it's pretty much within the parameters. I know all the numbers we should get. I'm about a millimeter away from reaching those values. The documentation says up to 1 millimeter you should be okay. So obviously, as the gear linkage, which I will show you everything later, as those linkage, etc., as they start to worn out, they start to come out of those ranges. But if it's no more than 1 millimeter, should be okay. Now, my problem here is, and I'm going to do something that I usually don't do. I'm going to do on this one because I'm really curious to find out what the issue is and obviously attempt to fix it. But the problem here is, even when I had this washer in, and I was reaching even values above the 21 millimeters, so which means when the clutch was engaged should be fully open. When I was engaging gears, it was still grinding, as you've seen. Also, even when it doesn't grind, when I put like first gear or whatever, you can feel the clutch is not fully open, and because you can feel the car sort of clanking, and you can feel the gear engaging and clanking, and not clanking, but sort of, you know, as if the clutch is not fully disengaged and the gearbox still spinning. So I think there's something wrong with actually clutch assembly inside the gearbox, not inside the gearbox, on the bell on that where the clutch is and all those the arm and all that stuff, the thrust bearing over there. There's something wrong. So to fix that plunge, that rod that pushed the lever to open the clutch, I have an idea how to fix that, but we need to take all that assembly out. Now I'm going to do it slightly different. I'm not going to take that just yet, because I'm going to take the gearbox, something that I usually don't do, guys. I got to do this time, so this video is going to be probably too long, so I was to start now here everything again and using bits of the footage I've done up to now, but I just thought, you know what, that's too much editing for me. You guys know I don't do a lot of that. So yeah, we're gonna carry on. It's gonna be a long video, but yeah, we're gonna take the gearbox out. I'm not gonna take through the clutch through the removing of the clutch of the gearbox, sorry. I'm just gonna take the gearbox and that's it. And I'm gonna have to ask for help because I can't take this on my own. It's too heavy, I have a feeling. So the car is proper jacked up, so that's holding the engine. All the jack is just there, just really supporting it, because the car is all lowered on that rear jack, and on that lug in there is all the weight is on there, so it's proper secured. But the gearbox, I have a feeling if I take the 2 bolts that are holding the gearbox on this mount on this side, it's gonna drop and I'm not gonna be able to hold it on my own. There's only 2 bolts holding the gearbox to the engine block at the moment, and they are already undone halfway, so it's ready to obviously pull it a little bit, pull the other drive shaft on the other side. And yeah, he's ready to come out, but I've asked for someone to come and give me a hand before I hurt myself or I damage something. Another thing I've seen is the gearbox number in there is being wiped out. Don't know if this is a recondition, if this box has been already changed, or if someone has been cleaning that to try to buy another box. I'm not sure. Just seems too cleaned compared with the rest of the box. That was like that when I've seen it. I've lost a little bit of oil, which we're gonna have to replace, but that's details. Okay, and the box is out, and let me take you through what I found. So first of all, this bearing is gone. Look how bad, how worn out it is. Over there, look at that. And it's actually, this plate starts to crack, but it's quite worn out. It's probably about 1 millimeter on each side, maybe. It's quite bad wood. Another thing that is really worn is here, the fork, so it's quite worn as well. The press plate here is quite deep as well. It's quite worn away as well. The clutch, however, is not too bad, just a little bit worn out here on the edges. It looks like it's been biting a little bit more on the edges, but other than that, not too bad. Probably it could take a few more miles out of this, but he's gonna get a new clutch anyway. Also is the pin. Actually, the lever, you can't really see probably on the camera, but the lever is quite bad inside. It kind of starts to got the shape of the pinion in there, of this plunge. This is quite worn out. If you look for pictures of a good one, you're gonna see how worn it is. Plus, I want you to look at this, which is when I pull, look, I can move this pin in and out without actually moving that pin in there, which is the one that goes into the sensor. Look how much movement I have. So everything is worn away. So we're gonna take this pin out, and I will then explain you what the plans are for this. And the actuator assembly is removed from here. We're gonna clean everything. The rest position or neutral is all these things here. They all need to be aligned like that, and when you check them, they are all pretty much aligned. There's no really like extremely wear on them. They all look pretty much okay. The shafts in there, they are a little bit scored, and if you can see that in there, there's a little bit of damage in there, it's a little bit of scratch. It's not looking pretty. This one here underneath and there. Okay. Obviously the gearbox been doing this. I don't know if the synchronized pulleys or sprockets, if they are good in there. So yeah, they look alright, but hopefully they'll be okay. And the thingy, let me show you. Oh, that as well. It doesn't seem, so this is what engages the gears. It doesn't seem, there's a little bit of play, but too little. I think it won't make really a difference, but we're gonna most likely check this properly. So the way it works is this moves forwards and back, keeping all those forks aligned, and then this one rotates that way or that way to engage the gears, and this one just makes sure all the other ones stays aligned. So it's not really extremely worn, so it looks okay. I'm quite happy with this. The only thing we're going to check now, clean all this, is checking here, make sure this, when this rotates, is freely rotating. The sensor for this is right here at the end for the position. So yeah, let's gonna take this cap off and see how it is in there. Okay, it doesn't look too bad. It definitely needs some sort of lubrication. It's getting a little bit of rust inside, so we're gonna lubricate all that. The locking pin here, or the key, is okay. So you have this locking key. So when this engages gear, which is when this turns right or left, you gotta see in there. Come on, focus. If you can see, he opens a hole in there, and then you can see that. Then to the other side, he opens again. Now if I pull up, goes back in the central, and obviously when the gear is engaged, these locks goes down with this solenoid here, and obviously locks the gear in place. So the way it works is this wall assembly moves back and forwards, and this goes up or down to engage the gears. So on the gearbox, those two plates, they move here to keep all these aligned, and then when that pin that turns up or down or left or right, it moves these that way or that way, and then obviously that moves forward, does the same on this one, or the same on that one, or the same on that one. Okay, so that's the way it works. Just curiosity, I got the seals out from there with this little tool that I made. This seal is not too bad. It's not damaged, at least. Sorry, it's not damaged, but it's not a lot of pressure. It doesn't do a lot of pressure against the piston. So, but I don't know where to get these seals from. But anyway, this is just a common seal. This seal is doing nothing there really. When you look on the first groove, the seal is completely sunk into the groove. It doesn't even get to the surface, so it's doing nothing there really. We're gonna have to get a new one for this. That one I might reuse it if I don't find new ones for this. So yeah, all the other ones, I think they're gonna be fine, because there's nothing wrong with the rest of the system, I hope. So I'm gonna see if I can get these seals. I found them on eBay. The seals are kind of a set for 250 quid. Woo, that hurts. I'm gonna see if I can find just this, or at least that one, and reutilize these maybe. Don't know. We'll see how it goes. Okay, I don't even know where I recorded last time, just taking you through bits and bobs. So I removed the sensor, which is the sensor of the gear positions, okay, back and forwards. So these moves back and forwards, pushing this little rod here, okay, like that. but the rubber in there, there is a little rubber that goes inside there, and then you push this little ball past the ring, but was a lot of play because I think this rubber is a little bit maybe deformed, so this would go inside there, but then it was a lot of play back and forwards. So what I've done is I put a tiny, to stop that play, I put a new seal, and right at the bottom, I don't know if you can see, there's another O-ring, another seal, which is one of these little ones that I put right at the bottom. And now when this one goes in, let me show you. Okay, so when I pull these in and out now, you're gonna see that where the right at the end there's no play at all, like you see. Before was about maybe 1 millimeter play on this, no play at all now. So another thing that I think it would influence the gear position. Right now I'm taking the electro valves. I took one already to clean and check the seals. I'm gonna have to change this oil because look how this oil is. Focus back. It's completely black, like look. I'm gonna have to replace the oil on this and flush this. Okay, and moving away from the hydraulic unit, that was a few days ago. We are now back onto the clutch side of things. I have the new clutch, and I just want to kind of show you. So these has been repaired. So a friend of mine filled this up with welding and grinded it again. So he's now doing the clutch piston, or that clutch plunge, whatever you want to call it. He's doing that for me. Should be ready today. Anyway, so we gained probably about 0.5 millimeter here, maybe a little bit less, but then obviously, as I showed you already, all this indentation here that it shouldn't exist, as you can see on a new one. And obviously then the bearing there is already going through, and obviously a new bearing is not like that. So on these 3 bits we are probably gaining a couple mils here, and then the rest will be gained on the actually clutch actuator. But yeah, so the progress, what we're going to do now is put this clutch and plate back in place, fit the gearbox, and go from there really. I'm not going to take you through, just put it in, just curiosity. The bolts for the clutch, they should be renewed, and they should go on to 14 Newton meters, and that's pretty much. And the gearbox to the engine, I believe, is 60. There's no other really interesting torques for you. I think that's it. So yeah, so let's gonna put everything back on, and then I'll carry on taking you through as we assembling some other stuff. Okay, the gearbox is now in place. Well, it's not 100% in place. The gearbox is in place, drive shafts, everything is in place. I haven't put the support yet on the gearbox because it will be easier for me to put these. Well, I can't put these really. I can, but it will be easier to put these before the support. So that's why it's not in place yet. But the gearbox is in place. I've drained the oil off the reservoir in there, so that's empty. The oil was absolutely black. The gearbox is also drained, so we're gonna change the oil on the gearbox as well. And that's it. It's not looking bad. So let's see how it goes. Just went to get some oil and got the bit that my colleague did. So hopefully this makes some sense. So when I put this back in, I can then leave it on the rest position, look at the machine, and adjust this to the 21 mil I need, and that should do the job. Okay, following day, I just got some hydraulic oil to fill the reservoir. Obviously everything is in place, gearbox, etc. I think I already mentioned that. Anyway, I don't even know what I've said already, but yeah, I'm not going to take you through the bleeding process, etc, etc. I've already showed you early on the machine how it's done. So we're just going to put everything back on, including the wheel. and then I'll take everything through the process of bleeding, etc., and hopefully everything will work. So the pin is already there in place. You might not be able to see it. Just gonna have to adjust it. Everything's in place. We'll just have to adjust it to the right measure, but that's it. That's where we are at the moment. You can barely see it, but is it 19 mil? Okay. It was a 17 when I started. I already started to adjust it, so we're going to pull it all the way up to 21, which is the rest position for the clutch actuator. So I'm going to pull it all the way to 21 mil, and then we're going to carry on. Damn it, guys, I just forgot to record the result of the clutch kiss point, which just came out successfully. Just pressed the button and I thought about, oh damn it, I haven't showed you that. So obviously I went through the end of line. That resulted okay, because obviously we now have the rod or the plunge for the gearbox lever at the right position, and then I did the other one, which was the kiss point, and it worked fine. Just got the result for successful. The only thing I need to do now, which I'm going to do right now, is I need to tie the counter nut on that shaft, because there was really no room unless it's fully extended. So I'm going to do that now, and then we're going to try it, see what happens. Okay, that's adjusted. Trust me, guys, I haven't tried it yet. So this is the moment of the truth for you and for me. I haven't changed that lever from the neutral position since I've got everything done. So once you start the car, actually rod, the clutch actuator extends. So that gave me room to expose a little bit the nut at the back and the counter nut, and I tied everything up. So that's done, and now let's see what happens. So it's here in this position now, in the middle, which remains in neutral. Now let's gonna try first. Beautiful. And one thing that I noticed straight away, there's no more that sort of the car tried to pull. Now let's gonna try reverse. Reverse was the worst. Oh, beautiful. Oh, all you hear is a little bit of a clicky noise for the things moving in there, and that's it. Let me try to pull away in first. See the bite point? Oh. Another thing that I've noticed is look like the clutch takes a little bit longer to start to bite. So as before, it was biting all the time, sort of. Yeah, now let me try reverse. Beautiful. Yeah. First gear. We try second gear. This only goes to second. First gear. Reverse. Right, I'm gonna be here off camera, play with this a little bit. See if he does that grinding again. I really hope he doesn't. So we'll see what happens. And just let me show you this, because it might be in my head. I don't think it is. The hydraulic pressure, it kicks in at 40 bars, I think, and it goes up to 50. And I could swear, guys, before with the old oil, which was black as hell, it would take, to me, sounds like it takes a little bit longer to build that pressure. Now, literally, it runs for a few seconds and bang, it's 50 bars in there. I just want you to look. I'm gonna leave it until the pump kicks in. It should kick in now when it goes to 39. Look at that. It's about 3 seconds. And bang. It's on 50 bars. It might just be in my head now, but I could swear it would take way longer before. Now, I've been here now for about maybe 10 minutes, maybe just about that. And guys, it's been engaging reverse, engaging any gears, absolutely fine. It doesn't matter what I do, where I move it to. It never did that grinding again. That hopefully came quite good on camera. I'm gonna leave a picture here of how the reverse gear is inside the gearbox. Is a little bit, it's been battered. I'm gonna leave a picture here now for you guys to have a look. as you have seen, has been a little bit battered, obviously because of all that grinding. God knows for how long it's been like this. I made the owner aware. I've only noticed that when I was actually about to put the gearbox back in place, and I told them that hopefully that won't make much of a difference, but it's been battered, as you have seen. So yeah, guys, it's a fix. So we figured out what the problem was, and we got it done. So in the end, guys, it was a little bit more than just learn. So as you have seen, that piston was that plunge, whatever you want to call that rod for the clutch, was too short, number one. Then all the wear inside of the rest of the parts, the clutch fork, the bearing, the press plate, and all that stuff, everything added up. It took a lot of stuff away. So if I go there again, obviously at the moment the clutch is pressed, but if I turn the engine off and I leave the ignition on, you're going to see that in no time, oh there we go, it goes back to 21 millimeters, which is exactly where it should be. If you remember, before it was at 17. So obviously all these added up made the clutch to be biting all the time. So this was problem number one. Replace all the fluids, especially the hydraulic fluid was quite bad. Check the pump. I would have replaced all the seals if people on eBay was not asking for 250 quid for about 7 O-rings, which is an absolutely rip-off. Shame on people that charge this price for a few O-rings just because they know you can barely get a hold of them. People take advantage. Is really bad, but unfortunately is the world we live in. But nothing wrong with the seals at the moment in the pump. You might do with the replacement, obviously, but hey, it's working the way it is now. So in the end, that was the problems with this gearbox. And let's gonna wrap up this video now, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you lasted this long, a big thanks. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you do still have any questions, guys, any comments, please put them below. And like always, thanks for watching.